Right, back again. We have got a little bit of a noise coming from the rear end of the camper. We were returning from a trip out and we got this clunk noise. Wasn't sure what it was originally, but I think I've diagnosed it as a CV joint that's failed. There's two CV joints on the back of our van. One's on the inner, which is a Beetle one, because we're running a Beetle gearbox. And the outer one is a van one, so obviously we've got a mismatched pair. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking that off in a moment, and we're going to be looking at which CV joint has gone and doing a replacement on it. As you can see, I've already got my gloves on because this is one of those jobs where you're going to get greased up. Usually what you find is these come with a pack of grease that goes in them, so you're going to use that grease to re-grease or to grease up the bearings that are in here, and hopefully that will allow the movement to be fully in and out without any knocking noise or any clunking. So like I said, we've got some clunking and I believe it's one of these that's gone. So let's take a look at what's involved with that. So the first noise that we get, I think, is coming from this end, and if we move we're moving the drive shaft and holding the wheel, we can clearly hear some noise coming from that area. Moving in and out is normal, but you can hear that definite click, and that's the sort of noise we were getting when we were moving. So we need to remove the bolts that are holding the CV joint on at this end and the same bolts at that end. Now these are splined ones on this mod, so what we're going to be doing is using a splined ratchet. Now by leaving the wheel on, it gives you a little bit of pressure to be able to hold the wheel and release the bolt. Having done this a couple of times, I find that this is the system that I use, as it allows me to do it on my own. I take the wheel off, then it makes things a little bit more accessible, but it takes it a little bit more difficult to get the wheel off. Right, so I've got them all off now. We'll take a look at the others. Now one thing to bear in mind is that if you cannot get that spline tool in there, then you need to clear out the area inside, because they do accumulate dirt and dust. You've got grease there as well, so it does make that head seem a little bit shorter, and what you don't want is to round off the ends. You can clearly see I've got at least half the spline in, so I'm getting some good pressure on that one. Right, that's all them off. So if they're not slack enough by fingers, then we'll just use the wrench again to free them off. So that's the inner one off. So hopefully now we just take out the last one here. we go. So that's the CV joint removed. I can definitely feel and hear the noise at that end. And at that end. So we might have to replace both. So that's the CV and the dry shaft off. As you can see, we've got an accumulation of oil on that section and less on this. So we've got the Beetle at one end and the camper one at the other, and now we're going to be having a look at a replacement. So we're going to be taking this next section apart. So the first step is to knock off the boot. So we've got that tie wrapped on that end, and we've got this here. Now at the end, under all this grease, there's a circlip. You can probably just see it turning around there. There we go. So we'll take that circlip off. We'll also look for any washers or spacers that are in this area, and then what we should be able to do is slide that off the splines and remove it. Now we've got the circlip off. It's only a small one. Trying to get it off without damaging it, so you're not going to twist it, because we're going to reuse that. But usually what you find is you get a new one in the kit. Now what should happen is we should be able to pull this off now. There we go. So that's the old one off. Just put it back on to check. But you can see we've got quite a lot of movement in that, which is going to create some noise, especially when it's moving up and down. So one thing to be aware of on the CV joints, as they get older, they will wear. And what you might get is like we've got on this, we've got some movement in that centre section on the splines. It's not the splines that are worn, it's the centre section. So you're going to get a little bit of movement on that. So if you do have a new one in, or a good used one, you'll find that there's no movement whatsoever, like we have on this one. So we know that the centre of that is okay. We know that the splines are okay because it's nice and tight and there's no movement on there. So it's just one other thing to watch out for when you're looking for wear on the CV joints. So we've just been out to our local parts supplier, and basically what we've got is we've got the outer one for the bay and the inner one for the Beetle. Now this is what you need if you are going to be converting the split screen into a IRS rear suspension. So in this kit what we've got is we've got new bolts with washers. Obviously we've got as CV joint, we've got a gasket, got some new clips and a new boot. Now already I can see that they are covered with oil, nice and tight on movement, but I'm assuming that'll free up once we get everything put back together. So what we're going to do is going to grease this up before we put it in. That's why we've still got the gloves on. And then we'll see about fitting it onto the actual axle. So we've applied some of the grease to the joint. I'm going to try and work this in a little bit to get into the ball bearings to make it obviously lubricate it. And what we should see it starting to leak through on the other side. We're just going to work that in on the other side. So you can see now we've got quite a lot of grease in there. Everything seems to be moving around quite easily. Right, so them two are lined up. So we've got now both the boot and CV joint connected. Now we're just going to get that set of circlip and the washing on the end. So we've now got the circlip in place. It's not going to come off because it bolts in line, and obviously we've got all that grease in there. So that's the CV joint done for the outside, which is off the bay window. So we're going to be doing a similar thing on the other side. So adding the spacers on the back means that the CV joint is further this way, so this end isn't coming out too much, because at the back of this on the gearbox we have a seal. We don't want to tear that seal by pushing this through too far. So as the suspension goes up and down, this is allowed to move. So when that's moving around, we don't want that pushing on the seal at the back of the gearbox on the output shaft. So we'll grease this one up, and then we'll get the circlips on and get this one fitted. Now getting these little split ring things, these on at the end, are a little bit more difficult than expected. The new one, or one of them, came with one that got holes in, which means that when you're using these types you can put it into the hole, but the older version, or the other version, came with this split one. I've got a couple of tools that we've used in the past to get them on, but we have done it now. So basically what we've got is we've got the inner off the Beetle and the outer off the camper. We've got them all done. We've got a little bit of movement which we would expect, and we've got that on at the correct end. So now all I'm going to do is clean this up, and we'll take it out and put it back on the van. So lining these up can be a little bit of a pain. It's just a case of finding one ball hole. So now getting the camper end in, we're now going to concentrate on getting the Beetle end in. So rotating the axle a slight amount will allow us clearance here off the rubber. So the noise on the shaft that we had earlier, I think coming from this end, we still had some noise from the other CV joint, but I think that now can't hear any movement at all, can't hear any knocking, so I think that's it. We've still got a little bit of pushing and pull, so that's pushing and pull. So all we're going to do now is tighten up the splined bolts at the top up there and this section down here, and we should be able to go out and do a test run. So with only a minimal amount of tools required, it's not that much of a job, more of a DIY with a bit of expertise. I have done this a couple of times before, so obviously it makes it easier for me. But if I'm showing you what I've done, then you can see how easy it should be to put it into practice. So once again, you want to give us that thumbs up for this video. If you do want to subscribe, then obviously it's easy to do, just to click. But if not, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.